On August 11, 2025, the world of jazz lost a singular voice, a trailblazer whose fearless improvisation and soulful spirit redefined the genre. Sheila Jordan, the legendary vocalist and NEA Jazz Master, passed away at the age of 96 in her New York City apartment, surrounded by the love of her daughter and friends. Her death, following a brief illness, came just days after a heartfelt plea for financial support to cover her hospice care, a poignant reminder of the challenges she faced in her final days. Born in Detroit, Michigan, Sheila's life was a symphony of resilience. From a childhood marked by poverty to a career that saw her share stages with jazz giants like Charlie Parker and Charles Mingus. A devoted mother to her daughter Tracy, a mentor to countless musicians, and a beacon of bebop and scat singing, Sheila's legacy is as vibrant as her voice. Today, we celebrate Sheila Jordan's extraordinary journey, her cause of death, age, family, net worth, lifestyle, and biography, a story of a woman who lived for music and left an indelible mark on the world. Sheila Jeanette Dawson was born on November 18, 1928, in Detroit, Michigan, into a world of hardship that shaped her unbreakable spirit. Her mother, Margaret, was just 17 when Sheila was born, and her father, Donald, a factory worker, left soon after, leaving Margaret to struggle with alcoholism and poverty. Sent to live with her grandparents in Summerhill, Pennsylvania, a coal mining town in the Allegheny Mountains, Sheila grew up in a crowded home with 9 siblings who were actually her aunts and uncles. Life was tough. Money was scarce. The family relied on an outhouse, and winters were spent huddled in one bedroom with only blankets for warmth. Sheila later recalled in a 2014 Nepalese rupee interview, "We were the poorest people in a poor town, but I found joy in singing." Music became her escape, and as a child, she discovered jazz on a jukebox, captivated by Charlie Parker's "Now's the Time." Returning to Detroit in her early teens, she lived with her mother and began singing in jazz clubs, forming the trio Skeeter, Mitch, and Gene with school friends Skeeter Spite and Leroy Mitchell. They wrote lyrics to Parker's tunes and performed at his Detroit shows, earning his admiration. Parker, who nicknamed her the Lady with the $1 Million Ears, became a mentor and friend, igniting her lifelong passion for bebop. Those early years of struggle and discovery laid the foundation for a career that would break boundaries in jazz. Sheila's professional journey began in the 1950s when she moved to New York City, a mecca for jazz where she immersed herself in its vibrant scene. Studying harmony with Lenny Tristano and music theory with Charles Mingus, she honed her craft while working as a secretary to support herself. In 1952, she married Duke Jordan, the pianist in Charlie Parker's quintet, a union that brought both love and turmoil. Their daughter, Tracy, was born soon after, but Duke's heroin addiction strained their marriage, leading to his abandonment of Sheila and Tracy by the late 1950s. They divorced in 1962, leaving Sheila to raise Tracy alone while battling her own struggles with addiction. Despite these challenges, she kept music alive, performing in Greenwich Village clubs like the Page 3 Club with pianist Herbie Nichols. In 1962, her big break came with her debut album, Portrait of Sheila, recorded for Blue Note Records. The album, featuring her innovative bebop and scat style accompanied only by an upright bass, was a critical triumph, with jazz historian Scott Yano calling her one of the most consistently creative of all jazz singers. Her ability to improvise lyrics and weave spontaneous narratives set her apart, but commercial success eluded her, and she stepped back from clubs in the 1960s to focus on raising Tracy, singing in churches instead. Sheila's early career was a testament to her resilience, balancing motherhood and music in a world that often overlooked her genius. The 1970s marked a resurgence for Sheila as she returned to the studio and stage with renewed vigor. In 1974, she was artist-in-residence at City College of New York, beginning a 28-year teaching career that inspired countless vocalists. Her 1975 album Confirmation for East Wind Records showcased her emotional depth, while Sheila, a 1976 duet with bassist Arild Anderson for Steeplechase, highlighted her signature bass and vocal style. She formed a quartet with pianist Steve Kuhn, bassist Harvey S., and drummer Bob Moses, performing into the 1980s. Her long collaboration with Kuhn produced albums like Playground 1980 and Jazz Child 1999, blending intimacy and innovation. Sheila worked with jazz luminaries like Carla Bley, George Gruntz, and Steve Swallow, and in the UK, she performed with vocalist Frank Holder. Her discography grew exponentially after 2000, with 19 albums, including 2025's Portrait Now, released on Valentine's Day, coinciding with her final live performance. In 2012, she was honored as an NEA Jazz Master, the genre's highest accolade, recognizing her as a pioneer. Sheila's workshops at institutions like the University of Massachusetts and the Vermont Jazz Center were legendary, with students like Laura Vail praising her ability to teach improvisation as an extension of the soul. Her music was a lifeline, as she told NPR in 2014, "I need to do music to survive. It's part of me." Sheila's personal life was anchored by her devotion to her daughter, Tracy, and her love for her chosen family of musicians and friends. Raising Tracy as a single mother in New York was challenging, often requiring Sheila to work as a typist and legal secretary for 20 years while gigging at night. She told Jazzwax in 2012, "I'd get a sitter for Tracy and sing in clubs, then go to my day job. Music kept me going." Tracy became her greatest joy, and their bond deepened over the years. Sheila never remarried, finding companionship in her friendships with musicians like Harvey S. and Joan Belgrave, whose husband Marcus played a bebop tune at Sheila's bedside as she passed. Her love for animals was well known. She often rescued stray cats, naming them after jazz standards. Sheila's apartment in Greenwich Village was a cozy haven, filled with vinyl records, photos with Parker and Mingus, and awards like her 2006 Manhattan Association of Cabarets and Clubs Lifetime Achievement Award. She was a mentor to younger vocalists, sharing stories of her Detroit days and Parker's influence over coffee at local jazz haunts. Her warmth and humor made her a beloved figure, as seen in tributes from fans who called her a huge loss to the jazz world on X. Sheila's lifestyle was simple yet rich with passion. Her net worth, estimated at $500,000 in 2025, came from album sales, teaching, and performances, though she lived frugally. Her Greenwich Village apartment, rented for decades, was adorned with jazz memorabilia, a signed portrait of Sheila album, a National Endowment for the Arts certificate, and a worn upright bass gifted by a friend. Sheila loved New York's energy, walking through Washington Square Park and attending jam sessions at clubs like the Village Vanguard. An avid reader of jazz history, she cherished books about Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald. She supported music education, teaching workshops for free when funds were low, and donated to animal shelters. Despite her age, Sheila remained active, performing into her 90s with a voice that still soared from deep valleys to breathy peaks, as noted in a 2025 USA Today review of Portrait Now. Her health declined in 2021 with a dementia diagnosis, and by July 2025, she entered hospice care after 100 days at the Actors Fund nursing home. A GoFund campaign, launched by Tracy to cover private care costs due to limited Medicare support, raised $133,224 of its $140,000 goal, reflecting the jazz community's love for her. Sheila's final days were a poignant blend of grace and struggle. Her dementia brought memory challenges, but she found comfort in music, listening to bebop as she rested. A brief illness, likely a respiratory infection, compounded her condition, and on August 11, 2025, she passed peacefully at 3:50 p.m., with Joan Belgrave playing Marcus Belgrave's Bill for Benny at her bedside, as Tracy shared in a GoFundMe update. Tributes flooded in. NPR called her a singular voice in jazz, while Eric Clapton, who admired her work, posted, "Sheila was pure soul." On X, fans shared clips of Portrait of Sheila, one writing, "Her voice was freedom itself." Tracy's statement read, "My dearest mom passed peacefully, her music carrying her to the stars." Survived by Tracy, Sheila's legacy lives in her 19 post-2000 albums, her NEA Jazz Master honor, and the students she inspired. Her $500,000 net worth pales beside her impact, a pioneer of vocal jazz, a bridge to bebop's golden era, and a voice that echoed love. If Sheila Jordan's story of resilience, passion, and music has touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's keep her song alive, a scat for the ages. Thank you for joining us in celebrating Sheila Jordan's extraordinary life. Until next time, let her music lift your soul.